Hi, I'm sure you can't wait to get started learning actual phrases. So let's learn them in our greetings and introductions lesson. In the first section of greetings and introductions, we will cover how to ask someone how are you and what the potential responses could be when asked this question. Let's start with how to say hello or hi to someone, and that's by saying Kumusta. It might sound familiar to you if you know Spanish, and that's because it came from the Spanish phrase, ¿Cómo estás? As you learn Tagalog, you will find some words that may sound similar to Spanish words. And that's because Spain colonized the Philippines for a few hundred years. Therefore, some Tagalog words are borrowed from Spanish words. What about if you would like to ask someone, how are you? That would be Kumusta ka. With the previous word Kumusta, you're simply saying hi to someone, and you might not expect a response. A good example is if you were just passing by an acquaintance on the street, and you would like to acknowledge their presence. You would greet them, Kumusta. But when you say Kumusta ka, you actually want to know how the person that you're greeting is doing. And chances are, you would get a real response, and not just a typical American response of good and you. Since I really do want to know how you're doing, I'd like to ask, Kumusta ka? If you're saying how are you to more than one person, you would say, Kumusta kayo? Kayo is just the plural form of ka. However, that's not the only way kayo is used. Kayo is also used when speaking to one person when you want to be more polite, like when you're speaking to an elder. If you know French, kayo is very similar to vous, where you not only use it when addressing two or more people, but can also be used when addressing just one person in order to be more courteous. Now, if you want to be even more polite, you can add the word po. You will encounter the usage of po in the Filipino language everywhere, and it's probably a foreign concept to you if you don't have it in your language. Adding po makes sentences more polite. You will get a better feel for it as we will discuss this in greater detail later on. But for now, you can use po to sound more polite, such as if you were speaking to your friend's grandmother, and you want to ask her how she's doing. You would ask, Kumusta po kayo? What we will go over next are how you can respond when someone asks you, Kumusta ka? The most common phrase you'll hear people say when asked Kumusta ka would be Mabuti naman when stating they are doing fine. Another phrase you might hear people say as a response to Kumusta ka is Ayos naman. Note that the word naman was used in the previous phrase and this one. Naman in these phrases serves as an enclitic, which simply means it's a suffix to the preceding word, in this case ayos. It does not have an independent meaning separate to the word preceding it. Ayos means okay, and ayos naman also means okay. Thus, naman doesn't have a direct meaning, but is often used as in this phrase to soften the tone. Okay lang means just okay. Filipinos are optimistic people, and usually you will hear a positive response to Kumusta ka. So when you hear someone say okay lang, it usually means that person is not doing so well or is just feeling so-so. If you're about to leave the other person, this is what you would say to end the conversation. O sige, ingat ka. O sige means alright, go ahead. O in here is a verbal filler like O in English. It's like when you say, oh, that's nice, and ingat ka means take care or be safe. Notice that I put the pronunciation for ingat below the word, and I will do this in subsequent videos if I think the word may be tough for you to pronounce. Alright, I'll see you soon. O sige, ingat ka.